are dark. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the For the Geeks podcast for June 15th, 2025, a Sunday. Happy Father's Day to all you dads and fur dads and everybody else
if you
in between
came
that
somewhere
lives
and
out there.
created an offspring. Yep. Episode 36.
Episode 36.
What? You gave your mayonnaise deposit.
My name is Johnny. This here is Sniffles, and we will be your hosts for your episode this week.
Yay!
I mean, we're basically the only hosts, but you know,
yeah, I gotta say it.
We're back though. We're back. 2 weeks. It's been a couple good weeks. Busy weeks, definitely. But what have you been up to, Sniffles? Tell the folks back at home.
It's fucking hot.
Living your life. Yes, as you can tell for you video watchers, his light keeps going on and off and switching, and his camera's focusing all dumb.
Yeah, because I keep
hot.
because I don't have my room light on because it's too fucking hot. No, it's 90 fucking degrees. Anyway, what have I been up to? I finished Punisher season 2. I pushed through it. My rating of it, I'll give it 8 out of 10. I can't go any higher, can't go any lower. I like the fact that I don't like the fact that there were 2 villains, but I do like the fact that the 2 villains were interesting. Especially John Pilgrim. He was more interesting than Billy. I do wish, as much as I like Billy as a villain, he should have died a long time ago in season 1. But yeah, I wish they did more with John Pilgrim. I feel like they rushed a bunch of stuff. I don't like the chick, Amy. I fucking hate her because her character progression was bad. Because initially she was a stupid little kid, college kid. All right, cool. She's immature. Then she started maturing. And then it gets to the episode where John and Frank are shooting each other in the fucking in the hallway, and Frank is like, "Stay here," and she's holding a shotgun. She's like, "Okay," and she decides to walk up and try to shoot John. I'm like, "What the fuck are you doing? You were just told to stay out of the way of the fire, the fire zone, and you're walking right into combat with 2 fucking experienced gunmen. You dumb bitch! I fucking hate her." So that lost all my respect for that character, and I'm glad I never want to see her again. The actress is really good at playing annoying characters because she plays a bitch in a bitchy character in the Orville, which they do like a parody of a Black Mirror episode where society is run by votes, where if you do something wrong you get downvoted, and then if you're too low on your points you go to jail or something. I didn't ever watch Black Mirror, so I don't know, but I finished it. It was good. I love Frank Castle. He's cool. Which led me into Daredevil Born Again. I finished that shit quick as fuck because it was so goddamn good. This asshole here, my cousin, didn't watch it yet because he's a fucker, so I'm not going to say anything. But go watch it. There's a reason why Daredevil is my second favorite MCU character, right behind Tony Stark, because he's close to Batman. But he's not rich. And what else did I do? I farmed a lot in Battlefront 2 because I still like playing it. I farm by playing the co-op missions, which is just fighting a bunch of AI so I can get my characters high level so I can fight against the sweaties. And now for the main part of what I've been up to. Dune Awakening, I am very disappointed in its release because... it's fun. For those of you who don't know, it's made by Funcom, which created the Conan Exiles game, which is a great survival game. They drop you. It's a sandbox. They drop you in the middle of the desert. You don't know what you're doing there. You have to go survive and figure out the story.
Say it like that?
Because I do.
Survive.
Yeah, Conan Exiles, perfect. And I'm great. And I love that they created the DLC, the expansion for that game with the island. That was fun. But other than that... Dune Awakening came out unbeknownst to most of gamers. They dropped the MMORPG tag in mid-January this year. For years, I'd watch the dev videos saying, "Oh, this is going to be MMO. This is going to be MMO, survival MMO." I watch the videos. I'm okay. It looks like Conan with a sci-fi mask on it. And they're saying it's going to be an MMO. And I'm like, oh, this is going to be revolutionary for the MMO community because this is going to be the first survival MMO. How are they going to have thousands of players on the same fucking map building houses everywhere and fighting over it? And they dropped the tag, told nobody, and they released the game. And I watched videos, and it's like, this is not an MMO. The maximum amount of players on a fucking map is 300. That is not massively multiplayer online. Minecraft is not considered massively multiplayer online, and their max player limit is 300. Don't give me that bullshit. And I hate these companies throwing around the term MMO. You're a CORPG, just like Guild Wars 1. You see a bunch of people in one map, then you see a bunch of people in the other. A lot of the time they don't crisscross over, and there's less players in the fucking main hub.
Definitely not a CRPG.
CORPG, cooperative RPG, cooperative online RPG. But it is.
Still not that.
But it is. Like Destiny. Destiny is a CORPG. Warframe is a CORPG. You have a hub, you go out, you don't see anybody. Dune Awakening, you go out, you see some people. Still a CORPG. Anyway, it's not an MMO. Piss me off. I'm not going to buy it. Fuck you, Funcom, for lying to me. That's the end of the rant, unless you're going to contribute to it. Yeah.
I would love to contribute to it. First off, if you paid attention from the beginning of this game's launch, you would have noticed immediately that it was nothing like an MMO. Absolutely nothing like. Every video, every gameplay show was completely descriptive of it not being an MMO. We know what MMOs are. We know what MMORPGs play like. We know what their basic setup is. The fact that you didn't see any hotbars, the fact that you didn't see any type of overtime like attack systems, like give me a true MMORPG, not an action MMORPG like Black Desert Online or whatever, that has systems where you're running around freely shooting a gun like it shows in that thing. And the way that they build up their houses is definitely indicative
PlanetSide 1 and 2 are MMO FPS game. It's an MMO FPS.
Yeah,
I'm specifically talking about the MMO portion, not the RPG.
You just said MMO FPS. I said MMORPG. MMO.
Yeah.
So MMO means anything from maybe 1 to 300 players to thousands of players. Yes, it does not have to be over 300, 500 players in a single server specifically to be an MMO. MMO means massively multiplayer online.
300 people is not massive.
Multiplayer online is anything above 100 to be realistic, because you are running 100 different instances at the same moment in whatever given area. It does not matter. So by that standard, Arc technically is massively multiplayer, because you can have up to 500-600 people on a server at one point, depending on how big you want your server. I think. I think that jumping in and saying the game is disappointing without playing it and just judging it off of the tag drop is a bit much. I think that's excessive.
I'm
just stating my opinion, just like you are. I think that is wholly unfair to the game itself because you didn't try it and play it. Sure,
it's unfair to us as the players because they fucking lied. Don't go for years and say it's an MMO and then drop this shit at the beginning of the fucking year. Don't give me that shit. It doesn't look like an MMO. New World doesn't look like an MMO. You have 3 fucking buttons you press, and it's literally classified as an MMORPG. You have heavy, light, medium attack. That is basic as fuck.
Basic gameplay of New World is still basic MMO. It is still basic MMO gameplay. Regardless of that, you're still running around doing hunt quests and things like that. And
you're not doing that in fucking Dune Awakening? You're not doing fucking shit like that?
Fucking random fetch quests like that, other than your basic fucking tutorial quest to build your first base up. Look, the point I'm trying to make is the MMO tag getting dropped is because somebody in PR said, hey, this doesn't seem to fit the demographic of the people we're trying to target, so we drop it. It doesn't make sense. Sure, it may be massively multiplayer online because that is technically what it is. Whatever the fucking cult of PC gamers wants to say about it, like at the end of the day, you have more than 100 players on that.
It's not even PC gamers, because there's MMOs on console. It's just the logic of what an MMO is. Massively multiplayer. For all the years that I've played MMOs, from MMORPG to MMORTS to MMOFPS, means over 500 players on a consistent fucking server. That is what it requires.
Have to be 500 though.
Yes, it does.
Look,
anything below that is not massive.
By the standards and relativity, a normal multiplayer game has maybe a max of 64 players at the same time.
Usually on PC, yes.
Not even just on PC, on console as well. The max multiplayer limit at any given point is typically 64. For some reason, we can't figure out how to make it work, and game devs don't want to make things bigger. It makes sense for certain types of games. That's not the point. The point is anything above that tends to be rather massive and a very arduous programming journey for people. Anything above 100, I would say, does become a massively multiplayer because you are going beyond what the standard common is. At the end of the day, it's still a lot of people.
It's not really. It's not. But...
Look, having 1,000 players on a server is cool and fine, sure. MMORPGs can get away with that. Other types of games, especially ones where you have to build and hold up residents and keep these buildings intact and alive on a server consistently all the time, just creates so much bandwidth.
It does.
It can still be multiplayer, massively multiplayer online. It can still be an MMO survival game because that is technically what it is. By a technicality, it is exactly what it is. But it doesn't mean they lied. They dropped the tag because they realized they
lied because they didn't tell anybody. That's like saying you're ordering a car that you want, and you're looking at it, and you're like, okay, this kind of doesn't look like the car I want, but it might be the car I want. And then 5 months before you get the car you want, they're like, it's not the car you want. And then you get the car, it's not the car you want. That's as simple as I can put it for why they lied. They didn't tell anyone. If they just told people, I wouldn't be complaining this much. I'd be like, okay, whatever.
I think the reason you were complaining is because you assumed it was going to be an MMORPG survival game because you saw the tag MMO.
I thought it was going to be MMO survival because I was saying for many years, oh, this is going to be the first survival MMO. This is going to change the game because it's not an RPG. It's not an FPS. It's not an RTS. It's a survival. I wonder how they're going to do that with 1,000 people online. Turns out they can't because they're dumb. So, yeah.
Again, it has restrictions. You can I don't think the 1,000 is an absolute necessity to be an MMO. I don't think that at all. I think that's kind of ridiculous to think that anything 500 and up can only be considered MMO when we look at the relative standard and common practices. 64 multiplayer maps are big enough as it is, and that's like pushing it for a lot of other games. Most normal games end up being somewhere around 24, something like that, 12v12 sort of stuff, or what have you. It's very rare to get a game that goes above those. And you can count how many games go above those on one hand, or even types of games like that.
More hands.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You lump all of the MMORPGs together because it is a basic function of their reality. Anyway, I think saying it was disappointing is a big stretch. You're allowed your opinion, and I'm not trying to talk shit about it, but I am going to try and talk shit about it because I don't think the game itself. I don't think the game at all is that disappointing from everything that's come out metrics wise. It has looked good on its launch.
It's got a lot of players. It's got over 150,000 players, which is great for the launch. It's doing successful. I haven't heard any complaints from the people I know that play it, but I'm not going to be one of those people. Plus, I don't have anyone to play with. I'm not going to go out there and make new fucking friends. I'm not going to play with you because you're a console gamer. So, yeah.
I have a PC. What?
How often do you use your fucking PC? You mainly play with Jack and the crew.
Every single fucking day.
Using the PC for the podcast doesn't count.
Day.
So
no, I've literally used it every single day for the last 3 months.
Every time I try to play with you, you're like, I got it for the console. I got to get it for the console because my friends get it for the console. So fuck playing with you.
Well, they don't want to play Dude Awakening. They never said anything. If you said you wanted to play it, I'd probably get it because you would tell me, hey, I want to play this game. Do you want to play it? And I'd be like, maybe. Let me think about it.
Yeah, but then you like...
That's how it is all the time. All the time. Whatever. Anyway,
the last part of my thing, I made this dice tower. It's the Barad-dûr tower from Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers. It's Sauron's keep that has the eyeball on top. So, yeah, I made this. 3D printed it. It looks cool. You watch the video instead of listening to the fucking audio, you can see it. Listeners, yeah. But anyway.
Does it work well? Have you tried it?
Yeah, I tried it. Oh, I can't show it because I don't have a fucking... well, I do have a thing.
Obviously.
So if I have... if I just put this here underneath it, I just drop it in the top and it comes out here. Bam. Yeah.
Did
Simple.
it drop straight down? Did it not roll around?
No, there's a staircase, so it just drops. It goes straight down and it hits a staircase and it rolls off and then it hits the wall
that's
here.
lame.
I don't need it to roll multiple times.
I thought it was gonna have like a rotating staircase on the inside, so it goes. It kind of rolls all the way down.
No, I would have to make this bigger, and I don't have the room for that, and I don't want to piece it together. I like it just this small. Just drop it in, and it gives me a roll. That's it. Yeah. Anyway, what about you? What have you been up to?
I've been up to a lot of stuff. A lot of traveling back and forth to Cali.
Cali.
A bunch of work stuff out here, playing games, catching up on Final Fantasy 14. What else? I started watching something. I can't remember what it was. Hentai. Oh, I started watching Gen V.
So that's cool. Did you watch The Boys first?
I'm already at season. I'm either at the end of season 3 or finished season 3. I can't remember, but
okay, I'll get to that eventually. But I went back. I went back to anime.
I'm watching Gen V.
I heard about the funny part in that with the shrinking person.
That's awkward. But yeah,
that's good.
Other than that, just been doing that, playing Night Rain. Night Rain, Final Fantasy 14 has basically been my addiction right now. Yeah, that's about it.
It's good.
But there's definitely more important stuff to talk about today. We've got a lot of news, a lot of stuff. So let's get right into it.
Let's get it in.
Insert drum roll and music changing and star transitions on the cameras.
I don't know how to do that. Okay.
All right, let's see what we got here today. GameStop mentions that they're going to focus more on trading cards than games, which I find interesting. It's a full shift in what you want to do as a company, and I'm actually okay with that because if it's trading cards, I actually find some place that's reliable to buy them other than small trading card shops, which are harder to find out here.
That's true.
Easier to find back home.
Overrun by fucking sweaty people too.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
But I think it's unfortunate. It's a sign of big change, in my opinion, because it's they're mainly doing this because everything's becoming digital now. So they're like, we don't really need to sell physical copies, so let's go to something that's physical that people buy, which is trading cards these days. So it sucks, but everything's digital now. So
I mean, GameStop could full transition to like all physical media, like they could do collectibles. I know they already do like
I've gotten action figures from there,
Funkos and stuff, and they do shirts and clothing, random accessories. But I mean, a full transition to trading cards plus that and going harder on that front, I think would be a better choice for them.
They should just be called Geek Stop then. That would work because then you could just sell all geek shit, which is I would love a store to have geek stuff.
It would take a huge rebrand, and after the whole stock market thing that happened a few years back, I don't think they want to lose the name anymore. It's just
I wish I bought their stock during then.
Shit.
I bought AMC stock during then.
Nice. Switch 2 launched. The Switch 2 launched, and it launched to great success.
Sold out everywhere instantly.
It was sold out on its pre-orders and everything, yes. It's also set a new record, actually, in the U.S. It beat the PS4 for hardware on a launch. I believe on its first week of sales, it sold 1.1 million units.
Damn.
I think in Japan, it sold 600 something.
Damn.
Something like that. In Japan, what did it sell in Japan? 947,000. Yeah, so almost 1 million in Japan, and it beat the PlayStation 2. So the Switch 2 is officially, for all intents and purposes, become the largest launch hardware that has existed.
Congrats to Nintendo.
Yeah. I mean, they know how to make a handheld, and
the
definitely
king of
know
the hands. Yeah.
I mean, and the funny part about that whole thing is that what was it? 80% of the players who bought it also bought Mario Kart World. So it's just like, damn, everyone wanted a new Mario Kart game. Who would have thought?
I guess so. I mean,
metrics wise, that's crazy. That's a lot. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's very close already to beating the DS for most sold hardware. Let me pull that up with my clickety clackety keyboard.
Queefity. Yeah.
Let's see here. At least on launch, I'm pretty sure it's ahead of it. But it's already at 11 million on its first week, something like that. 11.1 point something. What was it? What did I say?
I don't know.
Where is it at right now?
Whoopie.
Let's see. Globally, it sold 3.5 million on its first 4 days. So that's pretty fucking crazy. In comparison, the PS5 shipped 3.4 million units in its first 4 weeks when it was on sale, and 4.5 in its first 7 weeks. So we'll see, but the Switch 2 is a huge jump on its 15 million units for the first business year. I think with price drops, it could easily beat the DS for most units sold. The likelihood of it happening as a price drop is unlikely, but Nintendo fans seem to go crazy for it, and I'm sure at some point I'm going to want to play it too, so I'm pretty sure I'll grab it. But yeah, all it's got to do to beat the DS is get up to 154 million. Yeah, 154 million. It's a lot. But I mean, the old Switch got up to, where was it? What did the first Switch get to? Yeah, right now it's sitting at 3.5-ish million. Where's the other Switch? There it is. The first Switch got up to 152 million over its life cycle.
Damn.
So if you think about it, this one's selling faster than the old Switch. It's selling faster than other game consoles that existed. It has it might have what it takes to dethrone the PlayStation 2 at the most sold hardware system.
That'd be nice.
Excuse me. You're dark again.
No shit.
So yeah, I mean, huge launch for that. And that's not the only huge launch we had. Elden Ring Night Reign a couple weeks ago came out. Sold 2 million copies in its first day.
How's that doing since you're the one playing it?
Great. So much fun.
It's good to hear.
Enjoying it. Every time I get to play it, I enjoy playing it.
It looks like a nightmare like every other From Software game. Glad you're loving it.
It's not that bad. It's more fun with friends. It definitely is. But it's not so bad with randoms. Like randoms are hit or miss, obviously, as in any battle royale or like co-op game. But playing with randoms isn't as bad as you'd think it was. And
plus, you don't have the because it's an actual multiplayer game. You don't have the handicap of like not invasion. When you summon a friend and they get like less HP or something to help you out, like in Dark Souls 3, right?
Yeah, that is.
So that's a good thing.
That is a nice thing. Yeah, it's not so bad. But obviously it was intended to be this way. So
yeah,
it definitely feels a lot more dynamic, I think, as a game, giving it that kind of play style.
Yeah,
it is absolutely different from most From Software games in the way that it plays. I know as soon as I go back to playing regular Elden Ring, I'm going to be like, God damn it, I don't have my sprint. I can't do this. Blah, blah, blah. Like, it's going to feel weird, and it's going to take a moment to get used to it. But
that's funny.
I'm sure it'll be fine. Next thing, Multiversus finally shuts down. Rest in peace to them. They had a good run. Cool characters. Everything was fun and neat, but it just could not pull what it needed. Warner Brothers tried. They did okay. Maybe next time do a regular fighting game and not an arena fighter like that.
Or copy paste Smash Brothers, because that formula worked.
Yeah, I mean, might as well just copy paste. If you are truthful to the copy paste, your game will be fine.
Yeah.
Look at Nintendo All Stars Brawl. Like, they said, "Fuck it, we're just gonna copy paste."
Nintendo All Stars Brawl, really?
Yeah,
Nintendo.
It was actually a pretty good one. I mean, sorry,
PlayStation,
Nickelodeon. The Nickelodeon one.
That's right.
You never played that?
No, I didn't. I'm not a Nickelodeon fan. I like Nickelodeon, but I don't care about their games.
It was cool. I liked playing as Korra. But yeah, that game pretty much copy pasted Smash. It was basically the same game, just different skins and different characters and different moves and everything. Yeah. But it felt good. It didn't feel like crap. That's the funny part. It was just like, it felt okay. And that's, I think, the big thing, especially with games like Smash that feel so good when you play them, that have that kind of responsiveness and attentiveness to their, given to them. I I think it definitely makes a big difference when you start playing something like that, and then you go play something that is a bit more on the janky side, or non-responsive, or floaty, as some people call them.
Right. You called it floaty. So, yeah.
Like I said, some people. I'm not the only person who said that.
Okay.
Yakuza 0 gets English dub only for Switch 2.
Yeah, I find that fucking stupid. I don't know why they decided to do that, but that's what I heard, and I googled it. I'm like, yeah, it's only getting it on the Switch 2. Like, why not release this for all the versions that currently exist? Why just the Switch 2? It's not a Nintendo exclusive IP, so what the fuck? It's a stupid choice. I don't want to play fucking.
Play the game in sub. It's supposed that way you can get the full experience.
No,
you're gonna read an RPG anyways. What's the difference?
I want to hear. Yeah, but I hear voices that I understand. I don't want to hear fucking. No, another language. No, I'm good. Shut up.
Cyberpunk sequel enters pre-production. Meanwhile, EA cancels their Black Panther game and closes Cliffhanger Studios.
Yep.
One door closes, another one opens.
Yes, so.
Hopefully the Cyberpunk game goes good.
I hope so too. I hope they have a smooth launch. That's what everyone wants.
Yeah. There's a Pokemon Presents coming out in July. That should be neat. We probably get more info on ZA or whatever it's called, Z Alpha.
ZA. I think that's just what it's called. Yeah.
Honestly, not what I hoped for the next Pokemon game, but I'm really hopeful to see another Pokemon game come out. Speaking of, we'll get to the Game Freak talk about it when we get to the main topic. But, let's suffice it to say, Game Freak can do a lot more than what they're doing, and I will comment on that in just a moment.
Yes,
Death Stranding's getting an anime coming out. It's going to be on Amazon Prime.
It's going to be boring as shit.
Good. I don't think it's going to be boring as shit.
I didn't play the game.
I think an anime will be interesting. I just wonder how it'll go. Definitely going to be very, very story focused and character focused, like the game is itself. Hideo Kojima is basically the greatest mind in video games right now. So
right now, yeah,
it'll definitely have an amazing story that may or may not be hard to follow for some people, and it'll be topical, and I can't wait. I can't wait to watch it because I'm curious how it's going to turn out. Fast Fusion for the Nintendo Switch 2 is a game inspired by Wipeout and F-Zero.
If you haven't played Wipeout, that shit is fun. It's an old, it was an old PlayStation 1 game that I played, the first one, and it's futuristic racing with these cars that hover above the ground, and you go really, really fast. I don't know how to describe it. It's just like F-Zero, those games, but with PlayStation 1 graphics. Yeah. I really enjoyed playing that as a kid because the soundtrack also was fucking banging. Like, just really cool, like electronic sounding tracks that came off that game were great. I wish there were more games that were like that, because I remember when I first got, like, I think it was when I first got my second GPU on my computer. It was like the 470 or something. No, sorry, the 770. When I bought that, I was looking on Steam that year for any games that were like Wipeout. Like, I found one. I think it's called like Redout or something, but it's an homage to Wipeout. It was fun to play. I'd love to see more games like that. So hopefully Fast Fusion takes off, because yeah, that to me, that's a really fun kind of racing game. I particularly like games like Forza, like Need for Speed, or like Wipeout. I'm not a fan of Mario Kart because that destroys friendships like Monopoly and Connect 4. And
only weak people.
Shut up. Or also, I'm not a fan of. I'm basically a fan of realistic racing games mixed in with semi-realistic, like Forza, like Need for Speed. Because most people don't race with fucking NOS in their car.
I mean, you say that, but
I wouldn't know, but most people don't. I'm excited for that. Hopefully it's good.
Should be cool. A nice little arcade racer. It's always nice to see again. And then last little bit of news before we get on to talking about the game shows that happened over the last couple weeks.
Yeah.
Crunchyroll Anime Awards.
We're terrible. Solo leveling one. I mean, mid leveling one. Anime of the year.
I don't think it should have won Anime of the Year. I think it should have won a lot of the other. I think it should have won a lot of the other.
It could have. It should have won like best action. But then like Frieren was snubbed so hard on this because when you look at yes, I get it. Solo leveling is popular. It's beautiful. It has a shallow story because it's just a battle manga or battle manhwa, whatever. And it's for kids because they're like, I can watch fights happen. You look at Frieren and you look at the animation and the fights and magic that happens there. You're like, this is better. It is way better in many ways than Solo Leveling. That should have won. It won awards in other award shows, but it didn't win Anime of the Year, which is disappointing. And even anime like Bleach and Dandadan were snubbed because according to Reddit, Bleach. I don't know why Bleach was snubbed for I don't know why that specifically got snubbed, but I know the creator didn't want to give streaming rights to Crunchyroll for Dandadan or exclusivity, so that kind of snubbed them out of the anime awards, which is stupid in my opinion.
Dandadan did well. I don't think it was life changing.
I don't think it's. I haven't seen it, but I don't. It doesn't feel. It doesn't have the same gravity as Frieren. In terms of this should be Anime of the Year.
It is really good. It is a really good anime, and I'm very excited to see the new season start up next month. But I don't think it would have won much other than maybe action or shonen or comedy or something like that.
Turbo Granny.
Solo Leveling winning is fine because I think its whole thing is that it is accessible. To be an Anime of the Year, you have to be accessible. You have to be open to being able to pull in new audiences and give them that kind of interesting story that they can follow for the most part, and at the same time keep their attention to you, coming back every single week.
Yeah.
The thing with Frieren is that Frieren is a slow burn, and it is very much geared towards an older audience. Older audience being, people like us who watch things for a lot more than just the battles.
Yes.
Given that, yes, many of the previous year's winners for Anime of the Year that you had brought up before off camera were action anime, but there were two on the very first two Crunchyroll Awards that were neither. I don't think it has anything to do with the fact that it's an action anime. I think it just has to do with the way that it can pull in viewership and retain it week to week. It is definitely something that easily keeps people entertained while not having to dive too deep into it and pay that much attention to it.
Yeah.
In those senses, it is a great anime. It's definitely worth the win. I just think that Frieren should have gotten it because I think it's a better story. And that is subjectively speaking for me.
Yeah, because in my opinion, when it comes to Anime of the Year, the story needs to play a significant part because I didn't start paying attention to Crunchyroll's Anime of the Year until I learned that Made in Abyss was the 2017 Anime of the Year. Yep. I'm like, this is not an action anime. This is one of the most traumatic fucking anime that I've ever seen that I tell people you need to watch because it'll fuck you up just almost as bad as Berserk. And it won for a good reason because it's fucking beautiful to watch and has an incredible story and character. So good for that, which is why I was hoping that Frieren would have won. But maybe season 2 will get Anime of the Year when that comes out. Who knows?
Maybe not. Again, I think that, like I said, Frieren is a slow burn kind of anime. It starts off very slow. It is very sluggish until you start getting towards the parts where Stark and Fern are part of the party.
Yeah.
And they're actually going through their adventure. As the beginning starts, it is a bit of a slow draw. It is very much focused on the character development, growth, and interactions and things like that.
It's so weird hearing you say Stark because the English version they say Stark like he's German or something.
Yeah, I if you want me to say it how I hear it all the time, it'd be taco. But whatever.
Yeah. Anyway.
The point being, Frieren is great. It is a immaculate anime. It is so beautiful, so great. What? Oh, all my stuff freaked out. That was weird. Whoops.
It's a great anime. Yep, that's about it.
Sorry. All my shit broke up right there. It's a good anime. It's very, very fun, but I understand why critics may or may not have chosen to go with something that is a bit more easy to watch and easy to digest, and you don't have to think too hard about.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that was.
Congrats to the winners.
Yep.
On to the
main
big stuff.
Topics a little bit because we don't have that much time today. Let's say like what we liked the most, like some of the games from the 5 showcases or whatever.
Or go ahead and start. Yeah, no, we can start with that.
For me, the game I'm most excited for is The Expanse: Osiris Reborn. It's an RPG, sci-fi RPG made by Owlcat Games. If you don't know who they are, I didn't. They made Pathfinder Kingmaker and Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. Pathfinder, for those of you who don't know what Pathfinder is, it's very similar to Dungeons and Dragons. It's their own version of that, similar to like Cyberpunk or Star Wars the RPG. They have their own universe and rules, and they made 2 games on that. Owlcat Games also made Warhammer 40,000 Rogue Trader, and they're coming up with a brand new 2 brand new games, Warhammer 40,000 Dark Heresy and Osiris Reborn. So I'm excited for it because I love the Expanse TV show. It is one of the greatest sci-fi shows I've ever seen. It's basically Game of Thrones in outer space, where you have Earth in the future. We colonized but didn't terraform Mars, and it got to a point where the Martians, the people that grew up on Mars, the Martians, they're pissed at Earth because all the rich people live on Earth and they refuse to terraform Mars. So they're on the brink of war, and the working class lives on the asteroid belt in asteroids because they mine the solar system's most precious resource, which is water. Water is becoming scarce in this day and age, so they harvest ice and turn it into water and use that as the main resource. And they Expanse is high quality when it comes to scientific detail, to the point where they have to use, like I stated in the reaction video, which you guys can go check out here. I posted it a week ago. Me reacting to the trailer. It basically like reverse thrusters, like when you exit orbit out of space. Like if you watch Star Wars or Star Trek, you never see reverse thrusters. The ships just land on the surface and just have landing gear like a plane. Versus in real life, a spaceship, a shuttle would enter a planet. Once you're heading towards your destination, you need to slow down. The ship will either activate reverse retro thrusters and use propulsion in front of them to slow them down, or they flip the ship around like in The Expanse, use that singular thruster and slow them down that way. That way they're slowly descending, similar to how SpaceX re-enters from the atmosphere and lands down back here on the surface. So they have stuff like that, or they have stuff where like if there's 0 or low gravity, you're pouring water and the water doesn't drop normally. It'll like swirl until it hits your cup. They're very detailed with being scientifically accurate, and the story is just incredible because they have to deal with this alien life form called the proto-molecule, which has the ability to assimilate everything it touches, and you don't know if it's good or evil. So I'm excited for that because I love the shit out of The Expanse. Other games that I'm excited for, obviously The Witcher 4. The tech demo looks great. Obviously, it's a tech demo. It's not real gameplay. So the real gameplay is going to look significantly worse, but it'll still look beautiful to us because that's how tech demos are. They're not they're pre-rendered.
We're in a day and age where I think that tech demos are getting increasingly closer to being as accurate as they are for actual video games. So I don't think
that's true.
I don't think it's going to be too far off of what we've already seen so far. Yeah. It may be a little bit less, but it won't be so much that it's like, an unchangeable like thing or an unrecognizable game in that point.
No, that's just Star Wars Outlaws because it looks fucking terrible on release compared to the tech demos or trailers even. They look so ugly. But
a big thing to note for that is that, or at least in my opinion, something that's really impressive about that tech demo was that it was running at 60 frames per second on a base model PS5. Base model PS5, not a PS5 Pro, not a newer PS5. This is just like, let's call it as it is right now. PS5 would be the baseline of what next gen systems are or current gen.
Yeah.
So like if you can run 60 frames on a PS5 and run that everything that was happening in that tech demo on a PS5 60 frames smoothly, I think that we're in a good place, because Cyberpunk couldn't fucking barely run on a PS5 when it first came out, and if they're focused now,
on PS4.
well, the whole point was they weren't supposed to build it for the PS4. They just did it because. But it is a good telling scene, I think, for me, in terms of what we can expect out of that game.
That's good. Yeah, no, I'm really excited for it. And I remember people too, when they saw the first trailer for Witcher 4, they're like, "Why does Ciri look ugly?" And then they watch the tech demo, and I'm just like, "She looks fine here. I don't know what you're complaining about. That was just a cinematic, and she looks fine in the cinematic. I don't know where people were complaining about this. She
just looks older. People are
old,
real. Fucking, people are getting real uppity about their fucking digital characters being all pretty. It's just like, dude, no, she's a survivor. Like, what are you talking about? You think you're gonna be super fucking pretty growing up in that kind of world, doing what she does?
Or even like if you tried, like I've had this conversation with Simon, because I agree with him to some degree, where like I don't like seeing ugly video game characters, but then sometimes I understand why they're ugly, because that's the setting, is the characters are ugly. Like if you go back medieval times and you're trying to replicate, the Middle Ages and shit, there's no hot people there. They're all fucking ugly, and they die at the age of 30. So yeah, they're not going to be like model quality like today.
Yeah.
And you can argue the East always makes, very pretty games and whatever. Yeah, but that takes you out of the immersion if you're trying to be in a certain time era. The East has their own thing where they make all their characters pretty. That's just what they do.
Yeah.
Western games or European games don't typically do that all the time. So shut the fuck up. It's a video game. You don't have to fuck every 3D character.
Speaking on the 60 frames per second running and saying PS5 was the baseline. So on top of that, there was a little article from VGC by Jordan Midler, where he spoke with CDPR about their whole tech demo and everything. And it's a great article. You guys should go check it out and read it if you have a chance. But essentially, during the article, they spoke about how the powerful foundation they're building is with Epic Games is helping push that open world design in Unreal Engine 5, but also that it would be extremely challenging to get the game to run at 60 frames per second on the Xbox Series S. For those of you who do recall what that is the most basic version of the Xbox that you can get currently. Yeah. It's something that's on their radar. Charles Tremblay, the vice president of technology, said.
Tremblay.
But it is definitely looking like it is more of a challenge, because the current mandatory requirement for developers to ensure that the games are compatible for release on Series X and S for them to release on Xbox consoles. That's a running thing for them. Like you have to make sure it works on both. So if it doesn't work on S, it could be the same thing that happened with Baldur's Gate, where there was a delayed release onto Xbox because they couldn't get it to run properly on both, versions, being that the S version had a co-op problem, a split screen co-op problem, and couldn't get it to work properly on the lower powered console. Mm-hmm. The more you know. It is definitely an interesting concept to think about, because we think about Xbox and how it's moving so big right now. They're making huge fucking moves, not only with game releases and stuff, but also with a handheld that we will get to in a second. But realizing that developers need to be able to make it work on both consoles is very telling, because Xbox is trying to pull people in with their marketing in terms of what the Series S and X are capable of. Obviously, it's showing now that hardware wasn't, their main concern. They are definitely moving more towards that play us wherever you can play us. We've got leaks of Steam tabs being on Xbox consoles. We've got Xbox on PC already being able to be, used. There's so many different things that Xbox is doing that it's weird that they're still trying to push the Series XS dual compatibilities. No, nothing to say.
No, I don't really have.
Okay. Grand. There goes that dialogue.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think it was
Anyway,
cool.
there's singular.
I think that CDPR might have another delayed release on there, or might have a delayed release for Xbox on their hands if they can't seem to get to that point. We'll just have to wait and see what more news comes out.
Yeah.
Continue though.
No, since we were talking about Xbox, we have a new handheld that was revealed. The Rogue.
Yeah. Oh, how do you feel about the handheld?
I think it's cool. No, I think it's cool because like we talked about this before when we first heard that the Rogue Ally would be coming, but just a handheld in general would be coming out.
Yeah.
I thought it was a good idea because Xbox for years I've wanted Xbox when I was a console gamer. I wanted Xbox to have their own fucking handheld to stand up to Nintendo and PlayStation and be like, hey, look what we can do. And now they do, and it looks fucking great. The specs are pretty cool. Like I know they have two versions. One has lesser computing. It has lesser RAM and computing power. It has about 16 gigabytes of RAM, and 1 terabyte of memory, and it has a AMD processing chip, which is standard for consoles, not PC. But
I have an AMD processing chip, and that shit runs better than half the ones you guys have. So
I have a super powerful Intel, so piss on you. And then the expensive version, the black version, because the normal one's the white. The black version comes with an improved CPU chip, 2 terabytes of memory, as well as 24 gigabytes of RAM power. So I'd say go with that one. Don't cheap out if you're gonna have like an Xbox handheld. Just go all in. Just fucking go all in my opinion.
To be fair, going all in is going to cost you quite a hefty fee because another article by Jordan Midler. Anything I bring up from VGC today is going to be from Jordan Midler, guys. So if you hear
just
me
VGC.
say VGC this, it was Jordan. All the articles I pulled up, all of them.
All of it.
On his article, they had pulled some data for pre-orders for the Rogue Allies. Looks like pre-orders are reported to begin in August, with the launch expected 2 months after that, which is pretty quick.
Okay, that's good. Holiday season.
Here's the big thing. Base model goes, and this is all in euros, translate it to American and what you will. The base model for the console is going to be 599 euros, and the X series is going to be 899 euros.
Ooh.
So before you dive into that jump, it is definitely quite a bit of money to spend on something for just a little bit more storage and gigabyte and RAM space. The RAM space you can live off of 16 gigs. 16 gigs.
Yeah, you don't need that
everything.
unless you're doing fucking high end shit.
Honestly, and the handheld isn't going to be running anything too crazy. It's a handheld. It is made for you to be mobile with your games, to bring it where you can play it at whatever quality.
When you can't play at home, you play on the go. Yeah,
exactly. And the cool thing about these handhelds, at least in my opinion, for it, is that they're able to run both Windows games purchased through the PC, through Xbox, or from BattleNet, GOG, Ubisoft Connect, Steam.
That's
anywhere that you basically choose. So for all intents and purposes, this is kind of just an Xbox version of the Steam Deck.
I feel like that's worth the pay as well because you're getting all of that. If it was just Xbox alone, then I'd be like, why are you so expensive? But this is like an entertainment center for all the game companies, cloud companies to throw into one handheld device. That's fucking impressive. Because I have games from multiple launchers. I have Steam, I have Epic, I have EA, I have Ubisoft, I have GOG games. Yeah, I have all that shit. So if I had the handheld
player, you have to.
Yeah, it'd be great to have it all just in one place. If I was buying a handheld, that'd be cool.
Yeah, and so it is a good idea, but again, that price tag is hefty for somebody like me. I would rather just get a Steam Deck because with a Steam Deck I can do so much more. I'm not that hard sold on all of Xbox's stuff. Maybe one day I'll grab it just to have it. It would be nice, but I mean, I could just do PC Game Pass on my Steam Deck. I could run all that stuff off of there. Like, there's basically no difference. But we'll see how it comes around as it comes out, and we'll see how it actually plays, because this is broadening the wider ecosystem for Windows in that sense, in terms of developers and players. But it also is bringing Xbox into the fold more, with being that just an ecosystem, not just a console.
Which is good, because I remember like years ago I was talking with Uncle Neil about like how Xbox was going to have like this, like remember they were talking about the next console after the after the one, it was going to be like a home entertainment system. You could walk in your room and do all this shit. And I like that it's progressing more towards that, in a different way, but it's still progressing towards being like a full entertainment system. It's good.
Yeah,
so good for Xbox.
Yeah,
so it's a successful launch.
Hopefully. Yeah. What else you got? What other games are you excited for?
I'm excited for this game that you told me about. In the top Jerpits.
You got this. Come on.
The Jerpits Persona 4 remake. We only got a tidbit of footage. Basically, they're not going with the fucking with the chibi characters anymore. Thank fuck, because I didn't like looking at those. And they're doing full-size character models. All we saw was, I don't know the main character's name, but all we saw was him running like down a street or whatever for like the 30-second teaser that we got. But I'm excited. Oh, okay. No, it's me.
No, it's you.
No, I am me. Rush Hour 3, let's go. No, but I'm excited for it because of what John here told me about it during the time we talked about our top JRPGs in that episode. You should go check that out. One of my
favorites.
Yeah, it's something about
I will
mystery and
the rest. I will fist fight the rest of you fucking Persona freaks to the death.
And he'll fist
Persona 4 is so much better than all the other ones.
Damn.
I don't care what you say.
I'm gonna play. I can't wait to play it because of that, and also the only thing I have qualms with is because several of the voice actors are apparently not returning to voice the characters. English voice actors are not returning to voice their characters for whatever fucking reason. Yeah. I don't know why. That's annoying. So that part of me is glad I didn't play the original at all in English or Japanese. But I don't like it when companies do that when they can't just reprise their character. Like there's no reason.
It comes down to a lot of stuff. It comes down to a lot of stuff. Realistically, they could be working on current projects or current things or have gigs, jobs that they cannot step away from in that sense. Voice acting is very difficult. It takes up a lot of time, especially when you have to do it for voiceovers for a video game and things like that. You go in, you do all this extra work. Like there could be a lot. It could be contract problems. The voice actor could now cost way more than they did at first when the first games came out. It could make a big jump in production costs, depending on what it is. There could be, I don't know, there could be a multitude of reasons. Whatever the reason is, like, I think that, shoot, I forgot the name of the developer again. Brain fart. I think that, especially people like Yuri Lowenthal, who's huge, from the time that Persona 4 came out to now, has like jumped greatly as a voice actor. So obviously, a new price tag comes associated with somebody that in the game. Yeah. It is not an easy, cheap cost, and you are now remaking a full game essentially. You're not just porting it over and giving it an updated high-res characters and changing character models. They're legitimately changing the whole thing. This game looks like, from what we've seen in the trailers, to be a complete renewal. It is just going to be like the Persona 3 remake. It is going to be just like Persona 5. It is going to feel modern and good and new.
Which is good. I'm nice,
bright and shiny, you know? So I get it. I understand. Like sometimes you can't pull the voice actors back. It happens. My only thing is making sure that they still stick true to the characters and find voice actors that fit them. That's my only thing. Like if it changes up so much that that I can't get involved with the voice acting, then I have a problem with it. More than likely, I'm just going to watch the Japanese one. I'm going to put on Japanese anyways. So
yeah, I'd expect that from you.
But yeah, that's super exciting. What else you got?
Nothing. No. I'm trying to think. There's not. Oh, One more thing, yeah, a couple more things. Well, I guess before we have to go because we're on a tight schedule for today. I'm personally really excited. Since we can't talk about everything, we'll talk about more next podcast about these games. But I'm also very excited because I didn't play the original for Final Fantasy Tactics Evalis. I don't know how to say it. Chronicles,
Evilis.
The remake, Evilis Chronicle. The remake of Final Fantasy Tactics. Basically, still 2.5. It's isometric pixel game. They updated the textures on the sprites as well as the backgrounds. They updated the I guess it's the same music. But
yeah,
the one thing that really sold me was they offered you could play the classic or the new one, and the new version instead of playing the classic is
voice acted.
Yes, it's fully voice acted with English or I believe Japanese, and I don't have to fucking break my jaw narrating all the lines of dialogue on stream. I can just listen to the amazing voice actors. They could do it way better than I can, and whatnot. Because that's why I don't play a lot of games that just have pure text. I did that once for Shadowrun Returns, and I'm like, oh my god, there is no dialogue in here from the characters. I have to say everything. Fuck. But I'm really excited because according to my cousin here, as well as every other Final Fantasy nerd that I know in existence, they say Tactics is one of the greatest Final Fantasy games ever created. It also has the most character classes out of all the other games. Like all the character classes you could think of in Final Fantasy are most likely in this game. Like the Onion Knight, the Geomancer, the Red Mage, Blue Mage, Black, White Mage, etc. All of those. What?
Double checking that because I think it was. Oh,
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, because every class, the dancer, all these classes that you see in Final Fantasy 14 have come from Tactics. Because when the new classes come out, I'd ask my friend Brian, I'm like, "What the hell is this?" He's like, "Oh, this one's from Tactics. This one's from Tactics. This is what this does. This is what this does." I'm like, "Oh, okay." So yeah, even though the famous Onion Knight, I didn't know came from, I believe, either Tactics or the older Final Fantasies. But yeah, I'm excited to play that because I've never played it before. What are you looking up specifically?
I was trying to see which game had the most because I was like, I could have sworn it was like three, but I think it's actually 5. A lot of people apparently don't count Tactics because it's a spinoff. I know. Let me see.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah. Final Fantasy 5 technically because it has.
Oh, well, there you go.
Final Fantasy 5, you can get
of the main lines
playable classes, and in Tactics you only get 20.
Oh well, shit. That's still a lot though. That's a ton of fucking class variants as compared to a lot of JRPGs or just RPGs in general today. Today you just have a lot of the games just have the basic roles: the tank, healer.
Yeah.
Range DPS, mage, or melee DPS. There's barely any variation. Like, what's a summoner? A summoner can use healing magic and also summon companions into battle. That's similar to a white mage. A white mage can't summon things, but does mainly holy magic or healing magic, but Yuna's both, so shut the fuck up. But yeah.
3 also had 22, so 5 and 3 both have the most playable class types.
There you go.
They're all the same classes. I think the Game Boy version added like other classes to Final Fantasy 5. I can't remember. I think you could. I think you got like Necromancer, Gladiator, and like a couple other classes. I can't remember. But yeah. Should be fun. Should be cool. I'll probably get it. I would love to play Final Fantasy Tactics again. It just has a bunch of really neat little like cool stuff you can do in there. A bunch of hidden characters to unlock, which technically count as extra classes, but aren't actual classes because Cloud's just a soldier. But
yeah,
they're super cool like Easter eggs and hidden missions and neat things to do in that game that are so much fun that I want to go back and take a look at.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah. Let me see. What do I got on my list? I got a big list. I got a big list.
You're going to have to go through a small amount because it's almost an hour.
It's okay. I got time. I got a little time still.
Okay, it's up to you.
Let's see. I'll run through it real quick. Things that I'm excited for. I didn't get to watch the Death Stranding tech demo that Kojima put on. I plan to watch it this week, so that way we can talk about it next cast.
Okay.
Not next week because I won't be in town.
Yeah. So the next episode will be out in a couple weeks instead of
2 weeks
this Wednesday. So 2 weeks again.
First off, Resident Evil Requiem. Holy crap! How did I not see that one coming? I'm super excited. I want to get into it. I think it's going to be super fun. It looks like it's a real return again. Resident Evil 8 did fine. I loved Resident Evil 8. I haven't even finished it, and I love it.
I've never
7
played any
was
of
the
them.
one. 7 was the one that really kind of struck me as odd at first. But Resident Evil Requiem, Resident Evil 9, for those of you who don't realize it, is going to be totally switchable between third person and first person, so you can play it as a new Resident Evil game, or you can switch over to the third person and play it like a classic Resident Evil game, whichever way you want to do it. I recommend doing it in first person because that shit's way scarier.
Well, yeah.
There's also Code Vein 2 got a trailer. I'll probably play that for a little bit.
Code Vein is, for those of you who don't know, is basically anime Dark Souls.
Yeah, basically. Excuse me. All right. Marvel Cosmic Invasion got some more characters announced. That looks really fun. I can't wait to play that fucking game. Onimusha got another trailer, full gameplay trailer. I am super fucking excited for that.
It looks cool as fuck.
Chronicles Medieval is a new game based on, obviously, medieval times. You play as a character. It's narrated by Ed Hardy. Yeah, narrated by Ed Hardy. It's you play as a character growing up during medieval times. You become a leader, blah, 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 blah. It looks fun. I want more info about what it is, but it looks really fucking cool. I have no idea what Stranger Than Heaven is, but the trailer alone made me go, what the fuck is this game? I need to know more about it.
Oh, yeah, that's the Yakuza standalone game that's not a part of the main series, but still is Yakuza-like.
It is definitely Yakuza-like, but I want to know more about the story.
Me too.
Because it's just really fucking weird. The way that they approach everything, I don't know. I want to know. I really want to fucking know.
Yeah.
That one left me super, super excited. Atomic Heart 2 got announced, which is pretty cool. I thought the first one was okay. I enjoyed it for the time I played it. I didn't finish it, but I played it. But there is a multiplayer one coming out called The Cube, set in the Atomic Universe. And it's on this giant cube that consistently rotates and changes. So you basically, I think
it's a big ass Rubik's Cube planet.
I think they said it was Extraction.
Yeah. I believe it's Extraction.
An Extraction style shooter. You go out in runs and hunts, essentially, and pick up stuff and then leave and get out of there. PvPvE, obviously.
Yeah.
But the unique thing about it is that the cube constantly changes, so you are constantly changing environments. Your map rotations will not always be the same. It'll always change. It looks really cool.
That's like a roguelike Extraction then in that
situation.
kind
of like that.
Yeah.
Kind of like that. That I'm actually kind of interested in. There was Felt That Boxing, a fighting game.
That one was very interesting. Motion.
It looks weird. I'm interested to see what it is.
It's got fucking the Muppets fighting, basically. Muppets boxing.
Basically.
Yeah.
It's
very similar to Punch Out.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it looks like Punch Out. Sorry, Liza P.
Liza P's DLC was released. I haven't played it yet, but I'm super interested in it. Mafia: The Old Country got another trailer. That looks cool. So good. It looks really good.
I played the first one and loved it.
I'm hoping it'll bring Mafia back to where it needs to be because Mafia was a great game. I loved Mafia.
Did you play 2 and 3? I heard 2 and 3 were terrible. I played
Mafia 1 and 2 was good. 2 was probably the best Mafia.
Really? Better than 1? Okay.
3 was not that great. 3 was
I need to play 2 then. Shit.
I played like halfway through 3 and then I was just like, couldn't get into it. Characters just weren't involving to me. They didn't really draw me in, unfortunately.
Fair enough.
It was fun. It was the action part of it was good. I just couldn't pull through the whole thing. Acts of Blood This game looks like Sifu, but it
Oh,
looks,
yeah.
but it's got parkour and guns and everything else in it, and I really want to play it. It looks like so much fun. Yes.
Oh, I'm trying to remember what the name of that Korean game was where that was also shown. Do you know the one that was shown?
Which one?
The Korean game where you take control of like a soul. It was North Korea versus South Korea, and there's like a K-pop singer. I was excited for that one too. It's like a stealth action game.
Fuck. Let me roll through the names of the things.
Xbox Showcase Korean game.
I forgot.
Mudang Two Hearts.
Yeah.
That one. Narrative-driven third-person action-adventure game that blends cinematic storytelling with immersive stealth. It's set on the politically volatile Korean peninsula because that game. Yeah. I'm just shoveling this in here because I forgot about it. The story takes place. I forgot where it takes place, but North and South Korea were going to reach an agreement and become one again. But then something sets it completely off course, and they go back to war. And they're starting to initiate war, and you take control of a North Korean soldier that has to take care of a very important K-pop South Korean star because she has information that is important to stopping the war or something, and you play as both the characters, the North Korean stealth soldier as well as the K-pop idol. So that looks quite interesting because I love stealth games. And I forgot. Also, I'm not going to talk much about this, but speaking of stealth games, Thief gets a VR game, which is great. Thief is like the king of stealth games. If we go back to old computer games, it's the one that started Splinter Cell, hiding in the shadows. That whole concept basically came from Thief and whatever, because you had to do that back in the olden days. It was hard as fuck. But yeah, anyway, continue.
What else? Where was I? I haven't even gotten to state of play. Let me run through this. Scott Pilgrim EX. I love the old Scott Pilgrim game. Getting a brand new one is just so fucking good.
It looks cool.
So happy.
I never played them.
So excited. What was I watching? Because I was watching this. I was watching Summer Game Fest at the hotel when I got there, and we were getting ready for dinner, but I was already ready, and something popped up, and I got so excited.
You didn't write it down. Oh, I don't know. Excited.
I know which one it was. It was the new. Sorry, my brain. It was the new Bloodstain game.
Oh yeah. Obviously, how did you not start with that? I made a clip
because I'm going through like
okay.
Buy things. There's other
ones. It looks
ones
fucking cool. I mean, there's boobies there, so I'm probably gonna play it.
Wow. There's other things on the what do you call it? On the Summer Games Fest that we'll get into next time and get a little more in depth. Hopefully, we have more news on them. But Wu-Tang, Rise of the Deceiver, a Wu-Tang game.
Where did that come? That is
so fucking cool. I'm so excited for that. Another beat 'em up game, but it's so neat. It's such a neat idea. And Ghostface Killah made a game. That's cool.
Crazy. Wow.
But Bloodstained, one of my favorite Metroidvanias, one of my favorite fucking like side-scrolling action RPGs. One of the best ones that's been made in so long. Even Castlevania hasn't made a good one, a good game version of their own game lately.
Damn.
This game has picked it up. To be fair, Iga, the director, producer, whatever, he worked on old Castlevania games, so that's why this game has so much of that influence, and that's why it's so very like similar in some cases, in some senses. This one looks way cooler. You've got two characters you can play that you can switch between at the press of a button. Once again, it looks like there's distinct abilities for each character that you play. And it changes on what you need to do in the environment. Pulling skills looks similar to how it was. You look like you're playing knights this time of the church instead of as the original character who was not necessarily a knight. She was kind of just a random. But I am so excited for this. It's gonna be so fucking cool.
Yeah.
There's a weird game called Baby Steps that scared me.
Oh.
Astrobot's getting new levels, which is cool.
That's right.
I like that. I like that support for Astrobot. I love that.
Astrobot.
Everybody's Golf is getting another game, which is super fun. I love that game. That's my favorite golf games of all time. Obviously, you already mentioned the Final Fantasy Tactics, Evil East Chronicles. I'm looking forward to replaying that.
Worlds 2 got announced. Don't care.
Ghost of Yotei. Ghost of Yotei is getting its own specific state of play coming sometime soon, supposedly, but it's going to be focused on that. Sucker Punch is going to take us through all of the gameplay mechanics and how they've changed, exploration, combat, and much, much more. Sometime during July is what they said. They did not give us an actual date, but super excited.
Yeah, and for those of you who like watching or playing games that are primarily brown and gray, Gears of War Reloaded, that's a thing. Yep.
Gears of War Reloaded is getting a beta. It's a remake.
Oh, yeah, remake, yeah.
Luminous is getting a new game. That shit caught me off guard. I saw when they started the state of play, I was like, what the hell am I watching? What kind of acid trip shit is this? And then I was just like, oh my God. As soon as I saw the little like line go across the screen, I was like, it's a Luminous game. I was like, it's a fucking Luminous game. There's no way it's a fucking Luminous game. And it kept going, and I lost my shit. And Julie was in the bathroom getting ready, and she's like, are you okay? And I was just like, there's a new fucking Luminous game. It's the new game. And I was just screaming. Hiragami is a cool little 3D action platformer where you get to
that looks cool.
Change your form, and you're
it's an origami game.
Yeah, an origami game. The 007 game got a new James Bond look, and we'll hopefully see more of it soon.
It looks cool.
It does look pretty good. I am super excited for it.
We have Titan Quest 2, which is an action RPG based on Greek mythology. So it's like Diablo, but with Greek mythology. So that looks fun to play because I've seen clips of the first Titan Quest, but I haven't played it. And then what other games looked?
Metal Gear Solid Delta got a new video. Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection. What do you call it? A side-scrolling Ninja Gaiden game.
There's
you remember that one?
I don't have any input on that.
Oh, well, it's 2 characters. It looks pretty cool. I think it'll be fun.
Fuck, that's right. I gotta remember the name of that game. Shh. Continue talking.
Neo 3 got its announcement trailer, so there's another Neo coming, and I'm super excited for that. Romeo is a Dead Man, another Suda51 game that looks just really, really fucking weird. The whole trailer throws me the fuck off. I like Suda51 games, so I'm probably gonna play it.
Killer Inn. That's the game I was thinking about the other day. That's quite interesting. It's a murder mystery game that has up 24 players, and you take control of either the hunters or the prey. I don't know what their actual terms are. Yeah. And so you can only communicate with people on your team, and whoever wins, gets the prize and whatever. And you can team up with other hunters to take out people. The normal people can take out the hunters if they team up. If you go up against one of the hunters, you're most likely going to die alone if you're not with anybody. But it looks fun for a really cool multiplayer concept of a game. I think that's a great idea.
Absolutely. I think it's going to be a super fun time. Very Among Us kind of vibes.
It's similar to the game you play, Mafia. Like you walk around, you shake people's hands, and then if you are the Mafia person, you like rub your finger this way, and the person dies, and you walk away or plays dead. So I like games that do that. It keeps you guessing as to like who's the actual killer, sort of thing. Those are cool. Yeah, like
Pragmata finally got a trailer after like 3-4 years.
I don't know anything about that. It looks cool.
I'm very interested to see what Capcom's new IP is going to do. It looks phenomenal. I'll say that much. The gameplay looks very good. It looks like a fun time. Story, obviously, I know this story is gonna make me sad at some point. That there's gonna be something that just like makes you die inside, and you're gonna cry. I can already see it.
Okay,
I see it from now. And then, what else? We already talked about Witcher 4 tech demo. Nothing big other than that, but the Xbox Game Showcase just had a bunch of kind of ports coming over for the most part. Final Fantasy VII is finally coming after years.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy 16 is going to move over there too. We got Ninja Gaiden 4 coming to Xbox as well.
Yeah.
Outer Worlds 2.
Yeah. Outer Worlds 2, $80 price tag, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jesus.
For the cracking knees perk. I know this was not immediately after I mentioned it, but we saw physical evidence that Game Freak can do something much better than they're currently doing. I have to absolutely blame the fact that like Pokemon has been the way it has for so long on Nintendo. Like,
that's Nintendo's stupid ass.
I cannot blame Game Freak anymore. Like, Beast of Reincarnation looks freaking amazing. Like,
it looks nothing like Pokemon. What the fuck?
Well, I don't expect it to look like Pokemon, but it just proves that Game Freak can do something more than what they're doing. And it looks to me now on this side that it must be a actual limitation of the hardware.
Yeah.
Because if they can do this with the Xbox like developers kit, imagine what they could do with everything else. If they were, if they get away from fucking Nintendo and they're able to explore what they want to do.
If only Nintendo embraced, current graphic technology instead of something from 10 years ago, we could have
maybe they will
Pokemon in Unreal Engine 5, like a better version of Power World. That would be great. Maybe. I would play that shit. I don't need to play it cartoony all the time.
I think Nintendo wants to keep Pokemon where it's at, and I think that's the problem now. I don't think it's Game Freak anymore. I think it's Nintendo
they do it for kids and families. Because that's what their audience is, kids and families.
But now we all know that Pokemon could absolutely be much better than it is.
Yeah.
But the two biggest things I got from these last couple weeks. First off, Silent Hill F.
Oh, wow, that looks good.
What an amazing looking game.
Asian horror stories are always the best.
I cannot wait to play this game. It is going to be so good. I'm going to cry like a little bitch.
Yeah, I'm going to watch you do it.
Right before October. Right before October. Stream it. So I have a game to play on stream for October.
I need to hear you scream like a girl.
100% going to be a good fucking time, and I cannot wait. It's going to be so much fun.
The first Silent Hill is also getting remade.
Yeah,
too.
Silent Hill. Bloober Team's working on that remake too. So we all knew Bloober Team was going to do something else. So here we are. Silent Hill remake.
I'm excited, but
I'll be excited to play that game too.
I'm excited because I've never played a Silent Hill game. I played only the demo of Silent Hill 2 when demos existed on PlayStation 2 magazines. I popped it in. I'm like, this is too scary, and I stopped playing it.
Silent Hill 2 gave me like trauma for years. It was so bad.
Oh god!
But I'm an adult now, so I think I'll be fine.
Yeah.
But Silent Hill F looks to be a period piece set in the 1960s Japan, 1970s, 1960s, something like that. It looks like so creepy. Just it has that old timey kind of Japanese horror movie feel to it with the way that things are, but it's also got its own Silent Hill vibe to it still.
Yeah.
So it's got that creep factor that just exists in the fog in Silent Hill.
In the fog.
This girl, I think, is trying to find her friend who is missing. I believe that's the premise of the story. And she goes into this place and finds Silent Hill, and you have to fight your way through to find your friend and bring her back. If any other Silent Hill story is an indicator of what this one's going to be, it's going to be fucking tragic.
Yep.
So I can't wait. I cannot wait for that. And then the number one game for me out of this whole thing was Marvel Fighter Z, also known as Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls, an Arc System 4v4 4v4 tag battle game with Marvel characters. I fucking can't right now. When I saw this trailer pop up, I lost my shit.
I lost my shit when I saw Dr. Doom being disrespectful as always, where he's like, I don't need to kick your ass. I'm just gonna pull my gun out and shoot you. Like, I can't believe that's in the fighting mechanics. That's hilarious.
It's a classic Doom thing. The Doom the Doom gun is awesome. But like,
that's why he has it.
Tell me why Capcom took so long to make a good tag fighting Capcom game again. That Marvel said, fuck it, take this, and gave it to Arc System, and Arc System's like, okay, sure, let's do it, and made Dragon Ball Fighter Z with Marvel characters. This game looks like so much fun. I can't wait to see what the rest of the characters are on the roster. I know there's going to be a bunch of DLC characters too, but like,
oh yeah,
This just looks like
that's your
the
thing.
shit. I fucking love this. I already know that Doom and Captain America are going to be on my team. Probably Storm.
To me, mainly because it's like got an anime look to it. I'm just like, this is great. I've always wanted to see Marvel and anime. You know,
I mean, they have Marvel anime. You could just watch it.
Yeah, Marvel animations aren't that good story wise compared to like DC animations. So, like the story, it's usually not that good.
I thought you'd be more excited for your Robbie Reyes being in the game as the Ghost Rider.
I saw that. I was like, that's not Johnny. That's Robbie, the best Ghost Rider with the Dodge Charger. Fuck the motorcycle. Yeah, that was cool. God. The best Ghost Rider.
I think this game's gonna do fucking great. I need it now. Like, this is the year of tag fighters, guys. Like, tag fighters are making a big fucking comeback. It's insane. There's like 5 of them that want to come out. It's so nuts. I'm all here for it. I want to play them. I'm super excited. Yeah. I hope you guys are too. But honestly, I think of all the things, I think that those 2 were the ones that I really want, that I need like desperately right now. I can't. I fucking need those games. Silent Hill comes out in September. No release date yet for Marvel, but we will be patient and wait because one day we'll find them. But speaking of finding people, where can people find you?
Nowhere.
If they wanted to follow you online.
Well, you can follow. I'm not going to post anything for a while, but my Instagram, Seger VFX. I've kind of just ignored it with a lot of social media stuff. But you can go to my Twitch, Seger Plays, Twitter, Seger Plays, and Instagram, Seger Plays. What about you, John?
You can find me on coughing.
Yeah, we can find you coughing.
You can find me on Twitch at Yo Ninja Boy. Boy spelled with 2 I's, BOII. Find me on Instagram at Yo Desu, DESUU. But you can also find us on YouTube at For the Geeks Podcast, where you can watch all of our podcast videos a few days after we record them and released with video. You can also follow us on Instagram at For the Geeks with 2 S's, For the Geeks as one word. You can also follow us on Twitch at For the Geeks Games. All of these will be linked in on
under the video description. Yep.
Under the video description, under the podcast description. You can find us on all podcast services. Also
find us
posting
on
on Wednesday. You could also find us on Patreon, and you could subscribe for $1 and get instant access to all the episodes. It's only $1. It's less than a bar of candy now. Like, we give you
less than a stick
deal.
Of gum.
And you could also get all of our pre-show stuff, any post shows we end up doing, basically all the cool little things that happen before we start recording and after. You get access to everything the day of recording. So shortly after we finish recording, you would be able to listen to the podcast. And you just help support us, help us grow. We're trying to grow the community and trying to get people out there. So if you like the show, share it with people, send it out to everyone else, bring them along for the weird, wonky rides we have. And that's basically all I've got. That's all we've got for this week. We will see you guys
in 2 weeks.
Yeah. And we'll talk more about some of the games we talked about today and whatever else pops up. We hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for stopping by. Thank you for supporting us as always.
You guys.
And as always, game like you mean it.
Booby lips.